lie for them to miss me. Yes, I see the things that they wishing on me. Hope I got some brothers that outlive me.
What's good, everybody? We are here with a little bit of a sadder video today. So we're going to be talking about basically rules of survival and the reasons that it's dying. In the past day, actually 2 ROS YouTubers have announced they've just basically completely quit the game. Trapeze and DigitFox, 2 of actually the best players in the game. Now, DigitFox had been away for a while and was in the process of making his return. He'd been away because his computer could no longer actually run the game, and part of that was just because Rules of Survival is so poorly optimized for PC that you need like a really good PC and able to actually be able to run it well, and especially if you want to be able to stream it. So Digit and Trip both made videos announcing that they were going to be quitting Rules of Survival. We're going to take a quick look at each of those real quick and just kind of get a gist of what they were talking about in the videos.
Just fun, and this game isn't fun anymore. This game isn't what it used to be, which is pretty funny if you think about it, because it still has the same glitches and bugs that should have been fixed 3 months ago.
This company only cares about their profits, and as much as I'd hate to admit it, but this game is abusing the fact that they can run on very low-end PCs. Since they have slim to no competitors, they can pull this off and milk you guys for your money with all the skin update. Now, I got to admit, this game was extremely fun in its roots.
So obviously there was a lot more to each video than just what I showed you guys, but essentially what both Trip and Digit were talking about is the fact that Rules of Survival has, like, it used to be really fun. It used to be a game that the whole community enjoyed way back in the day, back when even Seven Worlds was playing the game. And he actually ended up quitting for a lot of the same reasons that those guys quit. He comes back every once in a while, but for the most part has pretty much quit Rules of Survival for PUBG Mobile. And so there's a few different reasons that YouTubers are quitting and that the game is dying. So I'm going to kind of dive into those and give you guys a little bit of background on it, since there's probably stuff behind the scenes that you guys are not aware of. But the first reason the game is dying, which is pretty obvious, is the amount of glitches and hackers that are in the game. So as you guys know, we had an update on Tuesday. We have basically our weekly update on Tuesdays, and this week's update was arguably the worst that we've seen in the game. Not necessarily because of content introduced, although I did have some really big problems, especially with the spray paint, which in my opinion was a complete money grab. Didn't add any animations or anything, really just added the ability to put a picture on some sort of substance. Not only did you have to buy it, but it's a limited quantity as well. So if you want to use it multiple times, you got to buy it back, which is just a massive money grab, and it was pretty obvious. But the biggest thing that was the issue with the update was that not only did they not fix any glitches, they added glitches. So they added so that on the North American server, people would get kicked out on no reason if you're on PC. I believe they increased the lag somehow on mobile. They also introduced a new glitch where your throwables get messed up if you have spray paint in your inventory, and just a whole other slew of glitches. The Steam version got taken off the Steam store. And also, the Steam version still has not been fixed. It's been an issue for a while that your ping time is absolutely terrible, and you basically get killed while you're behind walls because the lag is so bad because of the ping time, regardless of where you are. So all those kind of together, I think, are probably what triggered Trip and Digit into eventually quitting. This wasn't like it came out of nowhere. They've both been kind of fed up with the game for a long time. And actually, both of them were in a tournament that they got gypped out of winning the first place prize because they were wrongly banned. It was a duos tournament. They were playing together. They were like far and away in first place and got banned because of Rules of Survival's broken ban system, and ended up losing that tournament, which was worth a pretty significant amount of money as well. And so probably the culmination of all these things, and it finally peaked whenever we got an update that introduced more glitches into the game than really fixing anything. It was all skins, spray paint, all these different things that show like what the developers are actually focused on, which will lead us to our next issue. The next issue being that the developers at the end of the day care far more about their profits than they do about their customers. Now, the thing that they don't realize is that the reason that games like Fortnite are so popular, that they do so well, is because they focus on the gameplay. They focus on improving the game, making updates, getting rid of hackers, getting rid of glitches, in order for people to play the game. And they know that if people are enjoying the game, then they're going to buy skins. And so they don't have to overprice their skins. They don't have to throw advertisement after advertisement after advertisement at you after you hop out of every single game. They know they've developed their game well, and because of that, people want to play their game, and because they want to play the game, they want to buy skins as well. Rules of Survival is kind of doing the opposite. They're trying to do everything they can to get you to spend money on the game, even though they won't do anything to improve the game. Honestly, the game was higher quality months ago than it is now. Like, usually with updates, you expect a game to get better. With updates, the game has actually somehow managed to get worse. And you take a look, obviously, they keep on adding new ways that you could possibly spend diamonds. They got diamond mode, which obviously you have to spend money to do. They added the mercenary lobby, which obviously you have to use diamonds. And all these things are things that nobody's asked for. We have so many different things, great ideas in the community of things that people have asked for that are just ignored. And instead we get these basically money grabs that nobody really cares about. And so you see these things like, we didn't ask for this. No, I guarantee you not a single person on planet Earth was asking Rules of Survival to make a dating app. And yet somehow we ended up with a dating app while hackers were completely infesting the game. And while they have done some things to fix hackers in the game, they've really done nothing to fix glitches that have been in the game for a really, really, really long time. Which brings us to yet another reason that Rules of Survival is dying, and that is because of the relationship that the developers and the community managers have with the content creators. I think Seven Worlds Gaming is a great example of this. He was far and away the biggest content creator in the Rules of Survival community, was doing a lot to promote the game, to grow the game, because his videos and his channel were doing so well. And then all of these glitches started making their way into Rules of Survival, and it became almost unplayable for him. And so he was recommending all these fixes, and nothing was happening. And so, logically, it made a lot of sense. He just ended up quitting the game because it got to the point where his videos were just him complaining about the game the whole time. Obviously, nobody wanted to see that. And PUBG Mobile arrived and was very well developed, had no glitches. The developers listened to him. I don't blame him at all for doing what he did. And so you've seen a lot of different content creators do that same thing. Like Digit talked about in his video, he had like a great relationship with the developers and gave them recommendations. And in return, he really got nothing. And so kind of what you guys don't see behind the scenes is we actually do have talks with the developers and community managers, and we have all these different ideas. We have recommendations for fixes in the game, and we are literally always ignored. And so it's really understandable why Trip and Digit and Seven Worlds and other YouTubers are on the verge of quitting. Noah had a blackout because of the number of hackers that were in the game. It was basically unplayable to him. And so because of that, I think he quit Rules of Survival for like 3 to 4 weeks. And I think most content creators are at the point where they're basically just playing the game because their viewer base wants to see the game, not because they actually enjoy it. I think if you ask most of us content creators, none of us love Rules of Survival the way that we used to. And a lot of people say, oh, if you don't like the game, then you should just quit. Well, it's easy for you to say if you don't have anything invested into it. But when you got hundreds of dollars worth of skins invested in it, when you've got hundreds, maybe thousands of hours of time invested into the game, when you've built an entire channel around this game, trying to support it, trying to grow the community, and the developers, the people that work at NetEase just continually ignore you. They won't do anything to help you. You look at the PUBG Mobile content creators, and PUBG Mobile sends them stuff like crazy. I believe they sent them like Razer phones, they have so much more input into the game and the way the game is run. If you look at PUBG, they've actually put skins into the game for some of their major content creators, and you basically never see anything like that from ROS, because while they do care about what their content creators have to say, it doesn't really impact them. Like, there have been a lot of occasions where they've used us just as survey monkeys. Like, they ask us questions. We just want your input on the game. Okay, I want to give you my input on the game, but I also want to be listened to. And that's why you see guys like Trip and Digit quitting. You see Seven Worlds quitting. You see Noah doing blackouts. You see Metal making a video on everything that's wrong with Rules of Survival that's not being fixed. And I think really what it's come to is the community's kind of fed up with all the crap that we've been dealing with. So if you've made it this far into the video, you're probably wondering, okay, Bobby, what's the actual point of this video? And really what I'm hoping for is that NetEase would see this, that they would see this giant compilation of all these different content creators that have told them what they need to do, how they can improve their game. And I don't think they realize what they're doing is driving away their customers, so that while it may result in a temporary spike in their profits because they're selling a little bit more stuff, in the grand scheme of things, they are killing their own game. They're killing their own game, and once the game is completely dead, their profits are going to be zero, which I don't think they realize. I don't think they realize that the game is very quickly going downhill, and eventually it will hit rock bottom. And so, like, Rules of Survival, please listen to me when I say I want this game to succeed. I used to have so much fun playing this game. When we would get the whole squad on together, it was a blast. I had so much fun. It was like the first time I had ever played video games every day for a long time in a row. And that's just not the case anymore. I do anything that I can to not stream Rules of Survival because I know all the glitches and the hackers and the bugs that I'm going to run into if I do go into the game. And I'm hoping that they do something about it. Otherwise, you're going to see a lot of other YouTubers follow the same path that Trip, Digit, and Seven Worlds did. And I'm sure there will be other YouTubers out there that will continue to be hype beasts. I think what a lot of people want is just for a YouTuber to sit there and talk about the game and act like nothing's wrong. Honestly, if that's what you want, go find that YouTuber, but that's not me. I'm not going to act like nothing's wrong when the game has been in a constant downhill slope for the last however long, really for probably at least the last 3 months. And while I would love to see the game in a great place, it's just not there right now. It could be. The developers could take a solid week off from trying to create skins, trying to make money, and actually improve the game, but we haven't seen that yet. So let me know you guys' thoughts on the game and the state of the game. I know probably a lot of you watching have already quit the game and just watched my videos because you support me, and I really do appreciate that. So hope you guys did enjoy the video. Give me a little feedback in the comments on your thoughts on the state of the game. Make sure to hit that subscribe button if you haven't already, and I will see you guys next time.